Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first of many American, or at least freedom-themed pitch meetings. This one was actually suggested by a user, or at least a user, and of course a viewer of the channel. And this one is one I have not actually covered, and I plan to cover in the future, because there actually is a bit of fan fiction around it, and I am going to actually talk about it and actually have my thoughts on it, because, dear God, this is not getting enough love. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we talk about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, America edition. And what would happen if Remaru, instead of being Japanese, was American? What would happen if an American was reincarnated as a slime? Yes. Short answer, amazing. Longer answer, freedom. My freedom. Yeah. Anyway, how would the story go? Well, instead, of course, of the poor schmuck in Japan getting stabbed, it was an American. An American tourist who has an American name. Be it John or Caleb or any other great American name, even Harold or Henry, or even Winchester, either one of those things would be good, even Samuel. But you get what I'm saying. Basically, the poor schmuck, the poor American in question, goes to save the Japanese man who is about to get stabbed by taking a knife for him. And more or less just gets reincarnated as a slime. And goes through the same motions of the ocean of the first episode, where he basically goes through consuming everything in the damn cave and becomes very powerful. But instead of creating a sort of medieval kingdom type deal, and of course, obviously, after upgrading the goblins, because, sexy goblins. After upgrading the goblins, of course, then he begins to work on basically passing the ideals that he knows as an American to these people. Literally talking about being an American. And more or less just kind of does that. And how the American character could be kind of presented could be like that of his American spirit, like, of course, good old-fashioned Teddy Roosevelt, or even Ronald Reagan, even John Kennedy. Again, it depends on how one presents the American, but, again, it's just one of those things of how one does it. And, again, I leave that to the people who actually get inspired by this idea, but either way, though, more or less, the nation built by this American is, once again, a type of freedom. So instead of the Tempest Federation, it would be the United Tempest States. UTS. Huh. That actually does sound pretty good. Yeah. Either way. What I will say, of course, is that, basically, it's basically an American tale. Creating a nation of freedom and democracy, while at the same time creating weapons to actually help defend the nation. And of course, obviously instilling the constitutional rights and the amendment rights of each and every single person, born equal and born to be free, including the First and Second Amendment, including the Fifth Amendment, which is basically your right to remain silent in court or law. And more or less just how it is. As for the uniforms of the United Tempest States military, well, this is how one could go. You could actually go through the actual history of uniforms, where after he basically creates musketry, or basically, muskets like the trapdoor Springfields, or the a type of American version of the needle rifle, more or less, you can have that to be like the American uniforms of the Wild West, the Union uniforms, the good old-fashioned blue uniforms, and then kind of evolve it to the other uniforms of the United States as it evolves, to the khakis of the 1920s, of the 19-teens and 20s, to the olive drab of the 1940s and 60s, and then, when you get to that point, BDUs. Again, make it as goddamn American as possible. I'm just saying here, as an American, it's going to be American as possible. And again, if you want harem elements, go ahead and do that. But as for the leadership of it, and of course trying to be the Demon King, I mean, you can go with it as you want, but he will not be known as a Demon King. He won't be a Demon Emperor. He will not take the seat of power unless voted in. And even then, it depends on how one goes about it. He could be an advisor. He could basically do what he has to do. Again, it depends on how one handles the situation. I mean, hell, you could do a constitutional monarchy with him having some limited power. I mean, again, it just depends on how one does this. But essentially, the main core fact of the story would be, of course, this man, this slime, literally promoting and basically talking about democracy, freedom, a constitutional republic, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and of course, no slavery. We learned our lesson, goddammit. Quit hitting us over the goddamn head with it. And yeah, that's just how it is. And that's about it. That's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the first video of many American-themed pitch meetings. And next time, we go to ReZero and see what would happen if an American was summoned. Or better yet, what would happen if, you know, they react to some American things. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, and I will see you lovely, lovely people in the next video. And if you got any ideas for other American-themed pitch meetings, let me know in the comment section down below. And let me know your thoughts on this story and whether or not you'd try and adapt the idea. And your thoughts on the idea as a whole. Unless, of course, you're anti-American, then go fuck off. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, and if you want to help support the channel, consider donating to our PayPal. It's folks like you that actually help make this channel possible. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, and I will see you all in the next pitch meeting for America. God bless it, and our God-given rights. Till next time.